Welcome everybody to the Third Touch Soccer Podcast. My name is Sam Leamy. I'm with Michael McLaughlin and Connor Walsh. How's it going?
Swell.
Why do we always start like really?
Because you start weird. Because no, that was good. You just sound like you were saying your name on like a voicemail outgoing message. Sam Leamy. Please leave your number and name.
Oh yeah, that's Australian.
Yeah. Whatever. I can't. It all sounds the same.
All right.
How's the weather down there, buddy? Nice day in New York.
It's beautiful today. It's 75 degrees. It's amazing. Today.
It's 80s up here. We were grilling out, bro. Me and Sam grilled out.
It's such a great day, and there's no wind. It's like it's a nice day, man. It's a nice day.
It's a good day to be alive.
Slight breeze. Yeah.
But yeah, we welcome everybody to the Third Touch Soccer Podcast. We're just catching up. Mike's had a long weekend, but we got a good show for you. Great show for you today. Good show, great show. Why are you laughing at me?
Just shitting on me. Just like Mike looks like he had a long weekend. Whatever, go on.
Did you have a long weekend?
Yeah, I had a long. I didn't get much sleep. I was sick, but let's go.
All right. But yeah, big news today. USA, Mexico, and Canada have made a formal bid for the 2026 World Cup. We'll talk a little bit about that later. You excited about that initial news, Mike?
I'll give you my opinions on that.
Right, okay. Premier League, great weekend. You know, Ibrahimovic is back. West Bromwich played this week. You suck. West Brom played this weekend. Deli Ali had another solid weekend. Ross Barkley in the news this morning as well. Got in a little fist fight in a bar last night. Do you see that video online?
It's awesome.
Got pieced out.
Did you see the video, Mike?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah,
it looked like he got clocked so hard, and apparently Ronald Koeman, Everton have come out today with a statement saying he didn't. You know, there was no. There was no like permanent damage, no teeth were knocked out, but he trained as normal today with the rest of the squad.
Except I heard he was missing his chin because it looked pretty glass in that video. Just fell off his face.
I don't know what you know what that looked like to me. That looked like I don't know if they got you gotta watch it before we hear about it, but it looked like that guy was like planning to hit him well before they were having a conversation.
Yeah, it was ongoing for a while. Yeah.
It looked like he was nice guy. And you know, like the really thuggy, creepy guys do that. They'll be like, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Oh, yeah, it's cool." And they'll put their arm around you. Yeah, no, that's cool. And then they just swing at you. You're like, oh my, it's so, That's never happened to you guys?
Have you ever been knocked out?
No, I've never been knocked out cold. No, not yet. I've been hit though, but never knocked out cold.
You went to a bit of a, ruffian high school, didn't you?
Yeah. Just taught me how to avoid shit, not get involved.
You ever been knocked out, Carl?
I've never been knocked out, but I was clocked pretty hard once in college. I lost a bet, and my teammate, therefore, was able to punch me in the face with his weak hand.
Friends.
And he ended up hitting me way, way too hard, and I dropped like a sack of rocks.
It's so crazy how much a punch to the face, just even at what somebody thinks is like not a hard punch, it hurts. Like even if you do like a fake punch and you hit.
I even hate getting like slapped in the face. Like if I get slapped in the face, I get so angry. Like I lose my mind when people hit me.
My dad did that to me in front of all my friends one time when I was 16, like to be like playful, like thought he was funny, and it was like because I was being a jerk or something. He was like, "Come here," and he slapped me. I was just like, it was like the most frustrating. It's like emasculating and it hurts. It's like, yeah,
it's one of
I love my dad, by the way. Sorry.
It's one of my biggest fears. I just getting punched in the face. I got jumped once in Newquay. I partially my fault. I think I called someone a name. I was riding around on a scooter. I got clocked, sacked.
What kind of scooter? Like a Razor scooter or like a motorized scooter?
No, one of those kiddie scooters. It was like a craze about 15 years ago.
Yeah. The ones that you put one foot on and push.
Yeah.
You got jumped.
Guys, don't call those don't call those a kiddie scooter. In Brooklyn, that's how parents get around. It's freaking.
Speaking about Brooklyn, I was in New Paltz yesterday. That is the most hipster place I've ever been in my life. I hightailed it out of there as fast as I could. It was crazy.
Well, I saw you this weekend, Mike. Right?
Sorry, we don't have much input on New Paltz.
I'm just saying, New Paltz is wild.
I don't think I've ever been to New Paltz. But we rendezvoused on Friday night, Mike, down in New York.
Yeah, what's up? I thought we were going to talk about soccer.
We got to talk about soccer. This is a soccer podcast. We always forget. We always go off in our little la la.
I don't really want to talk about. But I want to. Whatever.
But A big game in Germany this weekend as well. Dortmund, Bayern Munich. Pulisic watch. We'll have that from you a little bit later on. But we want to talk about golf for a minute because Sergio Garcia, after the 73rd attempt at competing in majors, finally won his first green jacket. Did you watch those closing holes yesterday, Michael?
I watched the whole thing. I wouldn't say I'm a Sergio fan, but I've never been a Sergio hater. How are you on Sergio, Sam?
I always liked Sergio, but I've always known him to be a bottler. You know, you'll see him in the running after day 3, and then he always fades. And yeah, I haven't felt ever sorry for Sergio Garcia. I never really wanted him. I didn't really care for him to win that much, but it was good coming in. You know, Rose has already won a major recently. He kind of looks a little bit like a pencil.
Justin Rose.
Yeah.
I can't root for Justin Rose just because of the way he looks. It's not fair. His swing is great though.
Yeah, Sergio swings kind of ugly. Like he's
but
just a little bit
Sergio
small.
hits it far now.
Yeah.
I think everyone was pretty happy to see Sergio win. Like, I don't think I'm kind of with you. Like growing up watching golf and stuff, never disliked Sergio, but I definitely was rooting for him, especially after day 2 when he was in the lead. I was like, it'd be pretty sick if he won, and I can't believe it took him this long to win a major. It's wild.
I don't think he would have won it. If Tiger actually made a start, I don't think Sergio would have won.
That's outrageous.
The problem is
Him and Tiger just
Sergio.
hate each other.
Sergio's peak was at the same time of Tiger's reign, so it was just bad timing for Sergio Garcia. But what a great Sunday at the Masters is like as good as it gets. That's when you feel like spring starts.
Only thing I never liked about Sergio is how many waggles and how many times he comes off the ball. You know, when he sets up for his shot. You know, back in 2002 at Bethpage at the U.S. Open, you know, the fans were all drunk. That was like when all the fans, Long Island fans, got all drunk. So he started like counting his waggles, like 1, 2, like that's like 12, 14, and he'd like he'd walk off on the ball.
Yeah, he said he's always been frustrated at Augusta, but he said he's come to peace in the last 2-3 years with that course. He's always felt uncomfortable at the course, and I'm sure it is a very hard course to become comfortable with. It's such a tough course.
I'll tell you this, it was great television, and relating it to soccer somehow. I was at a bar, and everybody was making fun of us for putting the sound on, like me and a few of my friends watching it. And by the end, the whole bar was watching it. So, you know, something is compelling, it's compelling, you know?
It's always good to see the final 2 guys coming in close, and it swung both ways the last few holes. You know, when Sergio made that eagle on 16, I think it was, and then Rose missed that part, and then Sergio missed that part.
Made eagle on 15.
But
the 16, they both stuck it within 7 feet or something. That was cool.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to watch, and you know, I was actually outside playing with my kid on the playoff hole. But all right, so big news this week with the joint bid, 3-way bid, USA, Mexico, and Canada making a formal bid for this World Cup in 2026, and this is the first one where they're expanding the teams. What are your initial thoughts on a 3-way bid? We've had joint bids before with Japan, Korea, but we've never had a three-way formal bid.
Yeah, this would only be the second joint World Cup ever. And I don't want to take credit for this, but I was watching a video on Sports Illustrated today and Grant Wall brought up an interesting point about how pretty much the only reason he thinks that they're doing this joint bid is because of the Trump administration and some of his policies about immigration and whatnot, which I can kind of see, I guess, if you're different countries, running the FA of that country or whatever, and you don't feel like you're welcome or your fans are welcome, then why would you vote for the United States to host it? But I mean, frankly, who else can? Europe isn't allowed to host this one, and neither is South America.
Yeah, so let's clarify that because of FIFA's rotation policy. The next World Cup 2018's in Europe, Russia, Europe. The next one's in Asia, Qatar, and then it has to be in another continent. Now, with the bidding process has also changed. I don't know if you know this, Mike, with all the corruption amongst FIFA, recently, FIFA officials can no longer vote for the World Cup, and it goes to the 208 countries that are participating in the qualification process. So the voting gets counted from those nations now. So the fear of USA just throwing out a solo bid, maybe they wouldn't gain enough votes because of the ongoing political situation with the United States.
But Sunil Gulati did say today in the press conference, Sunil Gulati, for our listeners I don't know, was the head of U.S. Soccer. He said that President Trump completely backed the bid. And, I mean, he probably won't, he might not be in office, or he definitely won't be in office come 2026, but I guess the politics leading up to the voting and whatnot is,
but he will be in office when the voting happens, which is in 2020, I believe.
Yes, 2020 the vote is.
Do you think this is a wise bid? I mean, they're obviously going to be favourites for this World Cup. And I'm all for USA hosting the World Cup. The 94 World Cup was one of my favourite World Cups, even though England weren't in the World Cup. I mean, I've said that
probably
before.
why it was your favorite, one of your favorite World Cups.
Brilliant.
Sick.
But, I mean, they all qualify then. So Mexico, USA, and Canada automatically get that...
3 bids.
Free right into the World Cup, free passage into the World Cup without going through a qualification process. So the CONCACAF qualification process is going to be crazy. There's going to be...
they're already talking about changing the process, and also with the talks of maybe a joint one with South America, it could be very, very interesting to see who else would get in. But I think Canada must be all about it because they're not going to the World Cup otherwise, and this is probably their only shot at going. I mean, they are improving, but
I don't like it.
You don't like it? I mean, Mexico have already hosted the World Cup in 1970 and 1986.
86.
Yeah.
Canada have hosted the Women's World Cup in 2015, so they're ready to go. Their infrastructure and their hosting capabilities are ready and in place.
No,
USA,
I don't care. Any of those 3 countries can host the World Cup. Fine. They should just give it. It's the USA's turn. It was our turn 2022, just us. You know how big amount of land that is?
Why
Toronto
why
to win?
Why is it USA's turn?
Down to Mexico City, and because come on, stop it, and because come on, there's like 5 big countries in the world that could really do this. They could really. Oh, you don't think so?
What? USA, Brazil, England.
Yeah, England, Germany,
France.
France
Spain.
obviously could hold the World Cup. Australia could do it as well. There's a bunch. China could do it. There's a bunch. All right, there's a bunch. But listen, what I'm saying is it's so much space. It's not going to be that. It's not going to have the energy.
Well, the thing
Each
is,
little city's going to have a little energy. But like, how many cities in America are even going to get it? Like,
here's the deal.
7?
Here's the thing, Mike. There's 60 of the 80 games will be in the United States. 10 games will be in Canada, and 10 games will be in Mexico. And then every game from the quarterfinals on will be in the United States. So it really is.
All right, then. All right, cool.
Yeah.
now you're for it.
But the Mexican.
I'm for it, but I don't like. I just don't like. I don't like the whole like homogenization of the world. Like, all right, like I'm not a Trump guy like that, but it's just if we do, then the World Cup's just going to be on each continent. I do like the cultures to be
So why are you against like the World Cup being in Russia and Qatar then? If you want to spread the culture,
I'm not against it being in Russia. I thought the Qatar one was just weird. I don't know.
But I feel like there's more press in England. There's more press against the 2018 World Cup in Russia because England made that bid, and there's more negative press against Qatar in 2022 because USA made that bid in 2022.
Are we supposed to say Qatar or Qatar? What do we say? Qatar. All right.
I mean, they still don't know if it's going to be in the winter, the summer, the air-conditioned stadiums. They've already cut the budget in half recently. I think this
talking
week.
about Qatar still.
Yeah.
No, I just didn't know. I was like,
I hate Qatar.
Yeah.
No, I thought I was always banking that the Qatar thing was going to fall through, and then they were going to go to USA because it's one of the few countries that could just give you a 2-day notice and we could host a World Cup.
USA can host a World Cup tomorrow if they wanted to.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I know other countries involved, like Colombia, are interested in putting a bid in.
That would be kind of cool.
Really?
I'd be all about it
Yeah,
until
that'd be
the narcotraficantes hijack a team or something.
But that's what I think about the World. What makes it cool, the World Cup, is when it's in a small. Like even just being in the USA was kind of spread out. When you're like Meadowlands, Rose Bowl, like this, that's so far away. Where like when it's in like places like Germany or, where was even Korea, you feel. I bet there's like probably more of an energy in the city. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter watching it on TV. But.
I think it's going to be hard to top with the expanded team. So you're going to have all these smaller countries, but America's so diverse that there's a lot of those people that live here already, say like people from a lot of South American countries, Central American countries, if Honduras
Smaller
qualify,
Asian countries as
smaller
well.
Asian countries coming in, they're going to be able to fill the stadiums. We know in '94 was the highest average attendance of any World Cup ever. But I think they've just got to pick carefully about these 10 games in Canada and Mexico. Because, you know, if you have like a Belarus versus Israel in Mexico, like really, what's the attendance going to be? It's going to be like 4.
Well, I think they'll be probably pretty strategic about where the games are placed because of that. And
well, so if it's in Mexico, there's going to be at least 3 games involving Mexico out of those 10.
So it's really just going to be Mexico City, Toronto, and what?
Well, Vancouver could, Montreal could, and
Montreal.
The Mexican president said that, you know, he was fine with 10 games because he said L.A., Houston, Dallas, Chicago, and Phoenix are all home matches for them. So if those cities host games, you know, if the U.S. plays Mexico tomorrow in L.A., it's a home game for Mexico.
You know what's so funny about that is that there's such a more bigger soccer country that the president is just like thinking about winning. He's like, yeah, that's a home game for us. But if you have to ask Trump anything about, he would like who plays for who, he wouldn't know. Like, you know.
Yeah, who's Landon Donovan?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I saw one more report online via a writer for the Washington Post that potentially the Azteca would host the opening game and the opening ceremony. And then the new LA Rams football stadium would be the place for the final. That's not confirmed, but that is what one journalist believed in some reports he's been hearing, early reports, which, you know, sounds good to me.
I think it's fine. I think it's going to set a precedent for that expanded World Cup format. And I think it's going to be very hard to top in future World Cups. There's going to be more countries. Like I know the next Euros is like the whole of Europe. There's going to be games all over Europe. I think that's how the Euros are going to go forward with that. So you're going to see more countries doing joint and 3 bids. Like Australia and New Zealand will probably come in with a bid at some point. I don't know how Asia would work with joint bids. You know, a lot of them don't get along, so that's going to be a little bit tougher. But you could have like an African, you know, World Cup. You could have, you know, games all over Africa, which will probably happen in future.
Yeah, but I do agree with you, Mike, on that. Where when it's in one country, the whole country is involved, and you get to see the culture of each city. Because, you know, the camera crews are out filming around the city. You get to see the differences between, you know, the cities in the north, the cities in the south, the different architecture, all that different stuff. And I definitely agree with you that when it's spread out, if it's, you know, if the Euros go in that direction, where it's spread out all over Europe, you kind of lose the overall culture, atmosphere, because, you know, it's just, you're losing it. Like, it's not.
Yeah. I mean, remember when when the World Cup is in Germany, there's all these like German style, you know, women with, you know, beers. I don't know. You know,
it's gonna be it's gonna be lower risk. It's gonna be lower risk for. It's all about the chicks. It's gonna be lower risk.
No, I mean, you know, like when they wear with what's the thing the girls wear?
Later.
No, that's what guys wear.
Drindles. Yeah. It's going to be lower risk in terms of, from a financial point of view, like Brazil, the uproar with that, the riots, the budgeting, the public services. And if that was kind of spread out between the whole of South America, if like Brazil and Argentina did a joint one, there wouldn't be all this cost cutting in public services in those countries. So I think in terms of hosting a World Cup for that country, they're not going to risk as much.
I think FIFA just wants a break from controversy. I mean, it will be the biggest World Cup as far as number of teams. It'll be the first World Cup with the 48-team format, and having it in the United States, Canada, Mexico is just the easiest thing. There's not going to be any human rights violations building stadiums. They're not going to be shipping people over from Nepal to build stadiums, and they're dying by the thousands. I mean, literally, that's what happened in Qatar. And I think FIFA just looks at this as the safest bet, where, you know, the money's there, the infrastructure's there, the traveling is there, it's all there. So I think that FIFA is just maybe being smart for once and taking a step back and not.
I'm not really against. I mean, I'm for it 100%. You know, at least the World Cup being in the USA. And 2026, Christian Pulisic will be what? He'll be 28 years old, the prime of his career, right? Yeah. 27. Oh, yeah. He's gonna win the.
Yeah,
what is it?
in 9 years.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to win that World Cup.
Okay,
Okay,
we'll see.
we'll see.
You think so?
I'll put this here: we make it to the finals, the 2026 World Cup.
They just gotta hold the heart. USA teams in previous World Cups have had the heart. They haven't always had the players. Now they have the players. They need to combine the heart and the players. USA.
We've always had the heart.
But it might go away with the egos of these players.
Yeah.
We might lose the heart because we actually have talent.
Yeah.
For once.
That's a good point.
We'll see what happens. But I'm all for this 3-bid World Cup. I think it's a safe bid by the countries, and I think FIFA will go for it. Well, it's up to the rest of the countries, but I think FIFA will probably want that to happen in terms of their expanded format and how it would probably run as smooth as possible the first time out. But like I said, I fear for the World Cups in the future. How can you top that first one with the expanded format? But that bid's out there.
True, yeah.
That bid's out there. That's going to be decided in 2020. But Premier League news right now. Big weekend for the top of the table. Liverpool winning. Chelsea winning. Tottenham winning. Man United winning. Arsenal losing today against Crystal Palace.
I'm not even going to get wound up. To be honest with you guys, I have lost all interest in the Barclays Premiership. It's actually not even the Barclays Premiership anymore. I've lost all interest in the Premier League. I watched more German soccer and Spanish soccer this weekend with no worries and I knew Arsenal were going to lose today. I don't care anymore. I can't care. I can't do it.
But I want to talk about Deli Ali for a little bit. Still only 20 years old. Starring for Tottenham this season.
Explain who he is to the listeners.
Deli Ali has come from the lower depths of English football.
MK Dons,
who are in League One. So 2 years ago, scoring goals against Leyton Orient, Oldham Athletic, Bristol Rovers, lower teams, through the third division of the English tier. Tottenham scouted him, took a chance on him, scored 15 goals last season, I believe. In all competitions, he's on 19 already as an attacking midfielder. Still only 20 years old. His birthday's tomorrow, 21. Now, the great stat from Deli Ali, before his 21st birthday, he's been involved in 40 goals, either scored or assisted, before turning 21. Frank Lampard, 15. Steven Gerrard, 13. And David Beckham, 12. So those combined... Wow. Deli Ali has, surpassed all expectations, shall we say. And if you see him play with that Tottenham side, he is definitely the heartbeat of that side. Even when Harry Kane was out recently for a few games, he took, that team by the scruff of the neck. And as a 20-year-old, just constantly creating chances, scoring goals. And his goal against Watford this weekend, a 4-0 win. And his creativity, if he can translate that into the English team, there's hope there. I think he's a little bit different to Lampard and Gerrard. I think
he's definitely more of an attacking based player, more flair, more technical ability, I would say, than those two guys who probably had a little bit more workhorse in them than Deli Ali does.
But 19 goals in all competitions this season for an attacking midfielder, that's crazy. What's Pulisic on this season so far?
3. No, he's got 5, I think.
But I mean, in terms of Tottenham playing in the Champions League this season, I know he has been influential in bigger games, and this is only his second season. He still hasn't completed his second season. So if he can keep this up, for the next 2-3 years, his transfer value now, it's probably at 40-50 million, maybe higher. Where would you put him in terms of transfer value now, Connor?
Yeah, probably in the 40 to 60 million pound range, and if he continues to improve, it's only going to go higher. And I think, I don't think any of us want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I think he has a legitimate chance to be one of the all-time England greats, especially just because of the project that Tottenham Hotspur are running right now with Pochettino and the other young English players, and what's being built right now at Tottenham, I think, is going to be a sustainable brand and model for the upcoming future. And I mean, they're probably going to finish second this year. They have to improve in Europe, and if he can perform for England, he could be in that conversation. He's only, 20 years old still? But he scored more goals than any other under 21-year-old in Europe's top 5 leagues, which he's a legitimate world talent. Like, he's not flash in the pan. Like, he is legit. And
yeah, I mean, the game midweek against Swansea where Tottenham were down 1-0 with 3 minutes to go. I've never seen Tottenham rally like that. That shows that they are a big team now. That they are, they're the closest rivals to Chelsea. I still think Chelsea are gonna run away with the league with 7 games to go, 7 points behind. But now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins in a row now for Tottenham. They've closed the gap by 3 points in the last 6, 7 games. Chelsea look too strong to go away, but they do look like a top 4 team now. Like last season, they faded away at the end of the season, but the maturity of Deli Ali, Christian Eriksen.
Is this all the hangover too from the money they got from the Bale transfer?
Well, they didn't spend that much money on Deli Ali. They haven't spent that much money on. I mean, they got Vertonghen and Alderweireld, the 2 centre backs.
they signed Soldado, I think, as well which obviously was a bust, but they signed Soldado with the Gareth Bale money.
But they've got bargain buys. Son, who's scoring goals, for Will at the moment. Harry Kane, as we said, was out recently with an injury, but they're more of a team now. When they had Gareth Bale, it was like a one-dimensional attacking. Give it to Bale, he'll make things happen. But now it's like anyone. Christian Eriksen can make something happen. Dele Alli can make something happen. Dembele, when he comes on, can make something happen. You've got
Lamela.
Lamela. Well, he's out for the season now, but Wanyama's just shored up that defensive midfield position, and they have a solid defense. Kyle Walker, Danny Rose bombing forward. They have one of the best goalkeepers in the world in Hugo Lloris, and I feel like I'm praising Tottenham over the top here. But
it's if you're a Spurs fan, you have to be excited right now because they probably have the brightest future of any club right now that doesn't have huge money. There's just so much happening there, plus the new stadium.
That's my one fear for Tottenham is I think next year they're playing at Wembley Stadium because the stadium's not going to be finished. So
why do they always do that? Why do all the English do? Why can't they just play at their one stadium?
Everton's doing it too. Everton's looking for a spot for a new field right now too.
They are. So they're going to knock down White Hart Lane and then build a new stadium, and they're going to play at Wembley the whole time.
It's just for the season.
Wembley sucks to watch on TV.
Spurs sucked at Wembley this year in the Champions League. They were a completely different team.
Yeah, when Arsenal were building the Emirates, they played a couple of seasons Champions League at Wembley Stadium, and their record was terrible at Wembley Stadium. And same with Tottenham this season.
Couldn't Tottenham just go to Arsenal and be like, "Oh, can we use the Emirates for?"
Well, there was talks at one point of a proposed stadium between the two clubs back in the day. Obviously, that never materialized, but they were considering it.
Giants.
Yeah, because Arsenal look like they're not going to make the Champions League this season.
Good.
They're 6th place, 3 points behind Manchester United in 5th place. Another
7 points.
Another shitty performance today. I think that's the worst I've ever seen Arsenal play today. 3-0 losers at Crystal Palace.
They've now lost 4 road games in a row. First time ever under the Wenger era. He needs to step down now.
Well, the contract's on the table already. He's going to sign a contract. I heard.
To what, PSG or?
No, for Arsenal. It's pretty much.
I thought he was leaving for PSG. I thought that was like a.
I mean, 8 defeats this season for Arsenal. Is that the most in the last 5 seasons? I think for Arsenal Football Club.
Oh, absolutely.
8 defeats and the way their body language,
Arsenal are currently closer to Crystal Palace in the table than they are to Chelsea, and Crystal Palace are 16th. It's not a joke anymore. This whole Wenger out thing isn't funny anymore. It's not cute. It's not, oh, look at Arsenal playing like garbage once again. People are actually starting to realize, wow, Arsenal are in serious, serious trouble, and it's not a funny, cute little thing anymore. I have lost all interest in watching the club. It's for me personally, who I used to skip class. I used to skip school in high school and class in college to watch games. Didn't even watch the game today. And I knew they were going to lose. I knew they were going to lose away to Crystal Palace. Like, me personally, like, it hurts to see it, but I just can't give any more to this club emotionally, like, in my time and effort, and it's just a waste of time. And he's going to stay. He should be sacked tomorrow. If it was any other club, he'd be sacked tomorrow. They've lost 4 games in a row on the road. Their form is a joke.
Yeah, what is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defeats in the last 10 games for Arsenal in the Premier League.
It's getting worse. Like they're 7 points off a top 4.
I don't like that goalkeeper. Like you have a goalkeeping crisis. You have you have a defensive crisis. You have Bellerin, who you've said
Bellerin's been terrible. I'm not going to defend him. He's been awful for 5, 6, 7 games in a row now. I don't know the exact number, but it is full blown crisis mode, and he should be sacked tonight. I saw an Arsenal fan. He's one of the big guys that is on Arsenal fan TV after every game. He said if Wenger isn't sacked by tomorrow morning, he's not renewing his season's tickets. Like, that's the point the club's at. Like, people are done. I saw, I think, Bleacher Report did an article today about Arsenal fans worldwide just not watching anymore. Like, they're just not doing it until he's gone. And I talked to 3 of my friends that are Arsenal fans today, like, why's the game was going on? And everyone is like, I don't know if I'll watch another game this season. What's the point? Like,
I mean, even if they win their last 8 games, which they won't, I don't think, they're still going to find it tough to get in that top 4, you know, especially with Man City playing a little bit better recently. Manchester United not losing games, not winning many, but not losing at all. I know Manchester United have a harder run in, but, you know, Liverpool grinding out results. They're going on a little stretch of form right now. Obviously not going to catch Tottenham. What is it now? 14 points behind Tottenham.
Well, do you guys think Liverpool is in trouble now with no Sadio Mane? Is that top 4 spot in danger, or do you think they can irk it out?
All depends on Manchester United and how they do against the run-in. But United have a very, very hard a run-in. I know they play Man City. I think they play everyone in the top 6 apart from Liverpool, who they've played twice. So they have a very hard run-in. It all depends on them. I don't think Arsenal are going to catch Liverpool. 2 games in hand? I don't know, man.
Arsenal are level on points with Everton in the table. It is just embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. I'm not trying to sound like a fair-weather fan either. I'm not going to talk more about Arsenal, but I don't want to sound like a fair-weather fan. I would rather finish 6th with a different manager under a transitional period than the same repetitive BS year after year.
So if Arsenal finish 4th, you would want Wenger to stay. If they finish 6th,
I just like watching Connor lose his mind. Like, he just goes. He's so passionate about fucking Arsenal.
Yeah, we'll jump off that for a second.
No, I love it. I love watching. I love it. I enjoy it. I don't know if everybody does, but I love it.
But I want to talk about Ibrahimovic this right now. He was asked by a reporter yesterday to name his top 5 players in the Premier League right now. So he reeled off, 5 names, and the reporter was like, "Well, you didn't mention yourself." He's like, "You cannot compare lions to human beings." Is that funny? I don't know if he's funny. Is he funny?
He's great. Zlatan is great. No, he's just got the biggest personality. He may have the biggest personality in sports. Like, there's no one like him.
I mean, do you see his goal against Sunderland? It was kind of like a fadeaway basketball shot. He had his back to goal. He just pushed it to the side and drilled it bottom corner. I mean, Sunderland absolute garbage this season. Them and Middlesbrough definitely going down. But
good. That's what they get for what they did to my boy Josie.
What a turn of events. Middlesbrough, Sunderland going down, Newcastle coming up. Rewind 12 months. Those 2 northeast clubs. In the Premier League, and then Newcastle going down. But Rashford getting his first goal in 21 games, and Mkhitaryan with a nice little finish there. But Ibrahimovic, do you think he's going to sign a new contract and stay for next season, or do you think they should pursue Roman Lukaku and just kind of seal the deal with him and shore him up for the next?
It's not even just Lukaku. It could be Griezmann as well.
I think I want Lukaku, just because of his Premier League experience, and you know what you're going to get with...
Yeah, no, I think Lukaku is more of a sure bet, although Griezmann is, playing for one of the best clubs in the world and performing week in, week out. And I think that Ibrahimovic resigning a deal will come down to what strikers they look to bring in the summer.
Yeah, I feel like even if Ibra's making it hard for them to get a contract on the table if he's negotiating prices. I feel like they should pursue, the future, because Ibrahimovic obviously isn't the future. Yeah, he knows that. Manchester United know that, but from a market point of view,
what if he's a freak? What if he's the Roger Clemens of the Premier League? Like, what if he could play at this level for 2 more seasons? Why couldn't he? Just because he's 35.
Well, that's not 5-6 more seasons.
No, I understand, but you do think that Lukaku would be a better fit right now than Ibra? You think he performed better right now at United?
Yes, I think.
100%.
Well, he scored more goals this season, definitely. Yeah. He scored more goals. And I feel like Manchester United they play everything through Ibrahimovic. When he was suspended for 3 games, it was like we weren't scoring goals, didn't know what to do, the play was bad.
Yeah.
With Lukaku, I just think if you feed him and have that service and have that possession, the dominating possession in the games, Lukaku will make things happen.
Yeah, and
with Ibra, as good as Ibra is and his goal scoring record, his off the ball movement isn't good because of his age, and he conserves his energy and he plays smart. And he said that. He's come out and said that. He's like, I need to conserve my energy as a 35-year-old. I can't be running off the ball all the time. I just can't do it. And one of the reasons he'll score late goals and he'll have more of an impact in a game that way if he plays that way.
Do you think Ibra? This is a question for both of you guys. Do you think Ibra would settle for being a second-string striker with a lesser contract?
No,
I don't think he would either. But
I think this year he's just proven to himself and the world that he can play in the Premier League and score a shit ton of goals. He doesn't need to prove anything next season. He really doesn't. It might all fall down on if Manchester United make the Champions League, if he wants to compete in the Champions League next year. I think he's going to wait till the end of the season, see what happens, how it plays out.
That's a big part, too.
Because they have two pathways into the Champions League. They have the Europa League and they have 4th place. But, like I said, their running is pretty hard. I think there's more of a chance of them winning the Europa League, maybe. I mean, what do you guys think?
I mean, that sounds reasonable, right? Like, didn't Drogba come back with Chelsea to win it when he was like 35, 36?
The only thing
he was like a late sub.
The only thing is, though, this might be like stupid on my part, but I know we talked about it on the podcast a while back. You remember when Ibra won Player of the Month and he said that he achieved an award for himself in England and now he wanted to win with Manchester United? Like, that was now his goal, was to win as a team. I think if they qualify for the Champions League, that this will probably be his last shot at playing at the Champions League.
Yeah.
Even if he is on the bench. And then he's still going to score goals next year if he comes off the bench, and then he can come to MLS or then go to China or do whatever he wants to do.
He doesn't need to go to China.
Well, I know that, but next season will be, if Man U finishes top 4, regardless of what route they end up finishing top 4, I think he might want to stay because this is his last shot at a Champions League. And you know that United will be active in the transfer window this summer, spending money to bring in and improving the team, where they can maybe, bring in players that could then go on and potentially win the Champions League. I know that they're kind of far from that right now, but they have the money to sign the quality to come on and win the competition. So,
but you wouldn't be mad Ibrahimovic coming to the MLS because of his age. We've bitched about.
That is one player I will excuse. My whole old European.
No, I think it's fine for old guys to come in if they're going to play striker. I think that's fine. That's the only position, though.
Okay.
I think because you can come on. I mean, and
now he's retired from the international level, so he doesn't need to play at the top level to get in that Sweden team. He's already done that, unless he comes out of retirement for the next World Cup. But we don't know. I mean, he could be a freak. He's 35 right now. I don't think there's any reason why he can't play until he's 38. There's defenders that have played to that age, and
yep.
He scored 250 goals after turning 30 years old. That is just it's absurd. It is absolutely absurd.
113 goals in 122 games for Paris Saint-Germain. It's crazy.
It's absurd. It's pretty much a goal a game for 4 seasons in a row.
But I feel like if United focus on the Lukaku transfer or the Griezmann transfer, if one of those come in, I think Ibra's going to go. Lukaku scored more goals than Middlesbrough this season. He's scored 9 goals, Lukaku, since Sunderland have scored 1 goal. Sunderland are in dire straits. David Moyes, I don't think they're going to give him another risk and give him another 20 million to be in the Championship next season. But Swansea are down there. I know you guys are excited since Brad Bobley left. But they're on a bad run of form right now. But Hull City are playing great right now, out of the relegation zone. But that's the roundup of the English Premier League right now. I'm gonna move on to the German. I'm gonna move on to the big game in Germany. But we already talked about that.
We didn't really talk about it.
The Barkley punch? We talked about the Barkley punch, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, you shouldn't have brought it up earlier, but whatever.
Okay. All right. Well, if you fast forward the podcast, we'll touch on it again. We're going to talk about the Bayern Munich Borussia Dortmund game in a second. But yeah, Ross Barkley, straight after the game yesterday, 4-2 win over Leicester City, put an absolute pearl of a cross to Lukaku for the equaliser in the first half. Goes out clubbing, gets clocked in the chin.
Yeah, his I've never seen a jaw shatter so fast in my life. He
got knocked out.
It was so sick. Yeah. It was great.
I don't know that is he going to play this weekend?
Well, Sam said he trained today.
He trained today.
Oh, he did? Okay, all right.
One interesting thing, though, this is kind of not directly related to the punch, but Coleman said yesterday after the game that if he doesn't...
Seamus Coleman?
No, Ronald Koeman, the manager.
Ronald Koeman. Oh, okay, all right.
If he doesn't re-sign his contract, if he doesn't re-sign right away, he should just be sold. And now he's out getting punched in the face in the club. I don't know.
Where was it? I don't know where it was. I mean,
probably somewhere out in Liverpool.
It looked like a nightclub. I read it was like a Liverpool bar, but then when you're watching, it just looked like a nightclub, and it looked like he was just talking to a friend or something. Like they definitely were talking regular. I mean, it didn't look like they were in a heated exchange. It looked like the guy totally surprised punched him.
Yeah, it's probably Jack Wilshere. He's always out and about.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully.
Maybe it's just some guys got a lot of money on Liverpool this season or something, or wants to knock Barkley out. I don't know.
What are your guys' best bar fight stories? Considering we've all worked in the industry.
Best bar fights.
The best bar fight I've ever seen in my just over a year was St. Patrick's Day last year, when some guy got hit in the head with a shuffleboard puck and his head split open.
Yeah.
And Sam threw his glasses on the ground and tackled this dude. It was great. Sam, the manager, wasn't even working. He was there for the piss.
Yeah, I was hammered. I just came back from the MAC tournament, the college basketball tournament. Absolute piss drunk, drinking a shit ton of Miller Lights. And I just started CrossFit, Mike.
All right. Oh,
he was feeling strong. He was feeling strong.
Yeah. So I'm just drinking at the end of the bar. I saw this guy run over to this other knobhead, smash him over the head with a shuffle puck, blood pouring from his throat. Shuffle puck,
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
In the bar.
Yeah, his head split open, dude.
Oh shit.
So my doorman at the time was this 55-year-old, 300-pound, fall asleep at the door kind of doorman. The manager had to take initiative, ran over, put my glasses on the bench there, grabbed this guy, just, I don't know how, but I easily threw him on the ground, put my knee, Zach DeBush style, and fist clenched over the top of him. And I was like, don't effing move, don't fucking move. And he didn't, and then...
he must have felt bad once he saw that guy's head split open. He was like, oh no, what I did.
I don't know. I didn't even stand around to find out what it was about. But yeah, that was.
What happened to the guy? What happened? Nothing.
I was blackout, dude. I can't remember. There was no report. There was no complaint. There was nothing. You know how it goes at the bar.
It's just on a podcast now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What was your favorite bar fight that you've seen, Mike?
I remember though. I don't think I saw much, man. It was always chill when I was there. I remember. I saw our bouncers beat up guys. I saw one of our bouncers spit on a guy, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Shut up, Mike. Be a company man." I was like, "Oh my god." I had to lie.
Anyway, Barkley. Yeah, we'll see what happens with him, but he had a good game. He's starting to put in more consistent.
I think he's great, man. I like watching that guy play. I think when he's on his top game, I think he's a great player.
I mean, the cross he did yesterday, that's what he's capable of, and he just hasn't done it enough. And that we talked about Deli Ali earlier on, And it's as soon as you put on that England shirt, that white shirt, you forget how to play football. You just want to play at the slowest pace as possible. And Barkley's had a few chances for England. Deli Ali's in the England side now. Should be an automatic starter for England. But it just seems that you can't be as creative as when you play for England. And I mean, Gareth Southgate's in charge. Very limited experience at the top level. Just with Middlesbrough and in the England under-21 team. But we'll see. I mean, the future's always bright with England. Really, we always talk about that, but it's always how it translates from the club team to the national team. So, anyway, if you hear some background noise, my son Jack's here. You want to say hi, Jack? Anyway, he doesn't want to say hi. He's a bit shy. He's playing with some Lego right now. There you go. But anyway, Barkley getting knocked out in Liverpool.
I got it right now. We're going to talk about Pulisic watch.
We're on. I mean,
all right.
I was in New York this weekend. I was going to stick around. I was commuting from New York to Albany this weekend when the game was going on. Saw the final score 4-1 to Bayern Munich. I guess this is my problem with the German league. When you have the two best players, the two best teams in Germany, and Bayern Munich easily run out winners 4-1.
It wasn't like that.
I know Dortmund have some injuries. I know Marco Reus is out. I know
their manager's a hipster fraud.
No, he's cool.
Who else is out for?
He's going to probably take over for you. He's going to be your guy. He's going to take over for Wenger.
I know. Goetz is out as well.
Yeah, Goetz is out. He's out for a while.
And I know Thomas Tuchel came out and said there's a lot of niggling injuries, and you have a lot of young players in that team who don't have those big game experiences in the Bundesliga.
And that's what happened this game. This is what happened this game. I watched the game. Didn't watch it, right?
Bayern Munich have Robin. They have Ribery.
Let me tell you what happened.
I watched from 1-1 on or 2-1 on, whatever.
I watched from the beginning to the end.
Okay.
Dortmund was dominant from the beginning. Dembele had his worst game ever. The kid tried to become a superstar. He wanted to score some amazing goals. He played really selfish. He was poor. He actually created a lot of space, but just whatever. But what happened was, it was just like watching Germany versus England. Sometimes when England will have possession and then Bayern countered, scored, game over 2-0 with 12 minutes into the game. But up until that point, Dortmund had controlled and looked to be, in there. And then they did score. A goal, and it didn't. The score line doesn't really give you the story for how much Bayern. I don't think Bayern dominated to that level.
How many chances did they actually have, Dortmund, in that first half?
Oh, I don't know the stat sheet. Definitely a lot of chances, but nothing that really got on target, I don't think. They had the one goal by Guerrero, but
I'll tell you right now, Mike. The possession was 66-34. The shot total was 16-8. No, overall, and then the shots on goal was 8-3. This is
they're just not that good. Here's the thing: Robin kept coming down the right side, and they just couldn't stop him. I was like, what he does? He fakes right and goes left, and it was crazy. They couldn't stop that.
No defender has been able to stop that for 10 years.
I know. And he was on.
But Dortmund they're in fourth place, and they have some issues right now, and it looks like they're never really gonna catch the Bayern Munich in the foreseeable future. It doesn't look like.
You're talking this season or in general?
Just in general.
Well, they're 18 points back right now.
No, they need their back line needs to get revamped. They didn't. I don't know. I don't really listen. I don't know the ins and outs of what they could. They didn't play Weigl either, so they didn't have a lot of control there in the middle of the field as they usually do. But one thing I will say, Pulisic played probably one of the best players on the field for Dortmund. He played really well when he got a chance, but he didn't really get that many touches.
Yeah, I agree with your assessment of Dembele in that match. Just trying to do way too much, and at halftime, I was hoping that he would smarten up a little bit and make the second half a little more interesting. But Robin scored that quick goal early on, and that about sealed up the game.
And if you did watch too, like a lot of time, as a Pulisic fan, you see him make a run when they're on the counter or on attack. I mean, Dembele didn't even feed the kid. I mean, didn't even try one time. Dembele, I thought, was like, this is my game where I'm going to put 2 or 3 away and make a name for myself as the next big thing, which he probably still is. But
Dembele. Well, he's already said he's not gonna go to Bayern Munich. His only 2 options are Real Madrid or Barcelona. That's where he's going to go. So it looks like he's going to go at the end of the season. If he's in a team losing games 4-1 against Bayern Munich, I mean, what's the point in him sticking around?
I don't think he's good enough yet for Barcelona, Real Madrid. I mean, I think he'll just sit the bench for a year, at least 2 years. I don't know.
I think he's in a good spot right now at Dortmund. Obviously, they're competing in the Champions League, and I think maybe next year, hopefully, they'll tighten the gap a little bit on Bayern Munich. And they have a very good squad. It's not quite as good as Bayern's, but I mean, Red Bull Leipzig are way above or 8 points above the table than Dortmund.
you could also make the case that Bayern is the best team in the world.
Yeah, and
I'm playing the best right now too. It's either. I mean,
how do you think? This is what I was thinking today actually with Bayern Munich and the team right now and Guardiola and Man City. A lot of people in the Premier League want Guardiola to fail for some reason because he's been so successful in Europe. He never won the Champions League with Bayern Munich. What if now Bayern Munich go on to win this Champions League with Ancelotti within the first season? How is that going to reflect on Guardiola and his coaching? Do you guys think?
I think that it just kind of plays into. I think it kind of plays into the hand of the people that are saying that Guardiola is, fraud's a strong word, but he's currently in 4th place in England. Obviously, he's had a bit of a wake up call since coming to the Premier League, but he never won the Champions League, and he's always had the best team in the world until now. Mm-hmm. Now Ancelotti comes in. Ancelotti's hands down top 3 manager in the world, top 5 manager in the world, has been for over a decade. Wins the Champions League with Bayern in his first season. I think some questions have to be asked, and that's fair. That's completely fair if questions are asked of Guardiola. I don't want to smear the guy. I wasn't saying he's a fraud, but I think he may be starting to get exposed a little bit. And so many Bayern players have come out and compared Guardiola's style of coaching to Ancelotti's, and they absolutely love Ancelotti compared to Guardiola. Guardiola is in your face, riding you for everything, and Ancelotti just chills. He's way more laid back. Not that he doesn't care, but he's just a normal, cool guy. And, Guardiola trying to coach some gegenpress and shove it down your throat when, the players don't want to do it. And so...
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows Guardiola has his tiki-taka style of play, and there's a lot of people to jump on that and go... And Guardiola's always said this is the way to win, and other coaches are like, there's multiple ways to win, and they've kind of gone against that style of play. I don't think he's played that as much at Man City because the Premier League, you can't go away to Bournemouth and play that style and
yeah, and if you do, you're Arsenal and you're in 6th place.
Yeah,
that's,
exactly.
Yeah,
but I'm really looking forward to these Champions League matchups as well. Borussia Dortmund are still in it. They do have a tough draw against Monaco, who are the highest scorers in Europe. Juventus at Barcelona on Tuesday, and then Bayern Munich against Real Madrid, which is a great matchup.
I would say this too from watching all these Dortmund.
Oh yeah, there's an English team left, Leicester City.
Yeah, Leicester City's in. That's right. They're 14th or something. Watching Dortmund play, they play their best in Champions League, and I don't know what that is. There's just no pressure on them to perform, and they're a high level team. But they've been playing. I think that they're going to get past Monaco. But I know Monaco's got that 18-year-old kid. What's his name? He's like amazing.
Mbappe. Well, they have a really good squad, regardless of just him. And I said earlier
they actually arrested him this weekend for this game.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't even in the squad. Mbappe this weekend.
It kind of says a lot about how much he means to the team. But I've criticized the Champions League this year for the lack of excitement and predictability, but these quarterfinal draws are so intriguing. Mm-hmm. I mean, Dortmund, Monaco is like my favorite team in Europe to watch right now. And I mean, Dortmund is just obviously Dortmund with young, exciting talent. Juventus, Barcelona, how well can Juventus defend? How is Barcelona going to respond on the road after losing 4-0 on the road to PSG? And that's just on Tuesday. The matchups are so big and intriguing. Atletico Leicester, you have 2 very similar styles of play. going at it. And then, I mean, Bayern Real Madrid that's pretty much as good as it gets. That could be the final.
It could be a final.
Could be a final depending on how the draw went. But, I mean, yeah. What do you guys think?
Well,
start Tuesday. Are we predicting right now, or what do you guys want to do?
I think the Dortmund-Monaco games, very intriguing, as you said. I think Monaco will come out on top on those two legs.
Really?
Just because they can score so many goals, and they look great against Man City, and I always saw them getting through that second leg. Juventus-Barcelona, I can't see anything else but a Barcelona victory over the two legs there. I just think they're a lot stronger, even though they're having some difficulties in domestically. They lost this past weekend against Malaga, I believe.
Yeah, Neymar sent off.
We'll
miss El Clasico in a couple weeks.
But I just think Barcelona, just in the Champions League with their experience, I don't see them going anywhere. You know, they've already come back from 4-0 down against PSG in the last 16. Atletico Leicester, Leicester, their first loss under Craig Shakespeare this past weekend. Maybe the players, he was thinking about this fixture a lot. I really didn't think about it watching that game against Everton, which was a great game in the Premier League. Atletico Madrid, I think, will be too strong, but we've said that before, time and time again, against Leicester City. I mean, I want the fairy tale.
I don't know. Listen, I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I know that Leicester's going to do better than we think they're going to do. Yeah. And I think that Dortmund will beat Monaco. I think Bayern's going to take Real Madrid, and I think Barcelona beats Juventus. But it's Champions League. The other team, you don't know. I mean, all these teams could beat the other teams, I think. I would be most surprised by Juventus ousting Barcelona.
Yeah. I've got Bayern Munich to win it all. I think Ancelotti's a great coach. I think they're coming into their own right now after a slow-ish start. Leipzig started great in the Bundesliga, but I think, Bayern back on top. They could have wrapped up the league this past weekend, but they didn't because of the other results. But how do you see the Champions League going?
I think Monaco will beat Dortmund. I think that'll be the best matchup overall across two legs as far as, excitement and goals and just quality of play. Barcelona over Juventus, I don't know. It's got to be Barcelona. I still think the fairy tale will go on for some reason. Part of me still believes, and I think that, Leicester can play Atletico at their game and match them at their game, but that's a tough.
Atletico are just coming off a 1-1 draw against Real Madrid.
Yeah, who I think Real Madrid is the best team in the world, personally. I think Atletico will win, but I don't rule Leicester out. They can make it interesting. And then I hope Real Madrid beats Bayern Munich. I hate Bayern Munich for some reason more than any other team. I don't understand it. Like, they're so unappealing.
Is it just the name? It's
all the fanboys that come to our German-themed bar that love Bayern and know nothing about
We've been exposed. We gave it away. That's it.
No, you have not given it away.
No one knows, but
they're gonna figure. They got to listen to all our episodes to figure it out.
I will say though, I think Thiago is on the verge of being the best midfielder in the world if he already isn't. Barring injury crises throughout the rest of his very young career, he could go down as an all-time great. Legitimately, he is special. But I'm kind of back into the Champions League right now. My excitement has gone from like a 3 to like a 9.
Yo, Connor, let's be real though. First, Dortmund, Monaco. Where's the first leg? In Monaco?
In Dortmund.
Second leg. Pulisic gets the away goal, 75th minute. Come on, you're gonna.
Mike, of course. I'm at that point. I'm rooting for Dortmund.
This is how Mike. I mean, I know you want Pulisic to score goals and assists and do well, etc. But I feel like you should maybe view it from a different angle and just go, this is just minutes for Pulisic. He needs these experience. You just want him to be on the field at some point.
We're having our first intervention in the third touch history.
Listen, Sam. No, I want goals. I've seen that enough. He's the kid's ready. It doesn't. I want Listen, it doesn't really matter what he does. Yeah, it's just fun to watch him play, whatever. But to me, it's sick if he does something. Every time if he does something big in a big situation, somehow it makes me feel good. I don't.
All right.
All right. Shut up.
All right. Well, you just want him to start anyway. You got to remember he's still 18 years old. But Champions League round.
I literally just said an 18-year-old boy's success makes me feel good about myself. I can't. I'm out. I'm done with this podcast. I'll see you guys later.
But we are running out of time. But we have the most important league in the world to talk about. Week 6, MLS soccer.
I only talk about it with my mic upside down. That's how we do MLS.
It's like pointing your gun sideways in the movies.
From crazy.
Week 5. All right.
From crazy confetti to crazy snow. From Kansas to Real Salt Lake.
Oh, I love it.
It's week 6. Maybe week 5.
It's week 6.
No, I think it is week 6. You're right, Sam. I don't
know. Starting with Friday. 2-0 Galaxy. I know this is your segment, Con. I'll pass it off to you in a second.
Thank you, Sam.
Montreal Impact traveling, 2,800 miles or something to LA. 2-0 loss on Friday night. And then we hit Saturday. A ton of games on Saturday, a ton of goals. Crazy snow down at Real Salt Lake. Want to take it over, Mr. Walsh?
Sure. Well, you threw off my order. But Real Salt Lake 3-0.
This is Connor's thing. Let me hear these scores.
I look forward to this so much because I like to educate the youth of America about the MLS. But no, Real Salt Lake 3-0 over Vancouver. As Sam said, maybe one of the snowy of the conditions have I seen. Definitely more snow than the Montreal game earlier in the season. Maybe snowier than the USA Costa Rica qualifying match a few years ago. It was pretty wild, but. Real Salt Lake.
You text me. I was at work. You were like, "Oh, crazy snow at Real Salt Lake," and I put it on. And I was like, "What?" I don't know. Or I saw it on Twitter or something, and then it didn't look like there was any snow. And then halftime, the field was just covered.
The snow got worse as the game went on. By the time the ref blew the final whistle, there was no stoppage time. The ref blew the whistle right at the 90. You couldn't see anything.
There were players snowball fighting during
on the
game.
pitch during the game. But so first win under Mike Pecky, the Red Bull coach reject. Back to the top of my list, as Sam said, LA 2-0 over Montreal. New DP Alessandrini scores for LA. Mike's falling asleep. Jermaine Jones also scored. Montreal win this so far in the MLS. Chicago 1-0 over Columbus. Pretty big win. First win of the Schweinsteiger era.
Schweinsteiger get a goal?
He did, and he had a good free kick though in the 80th minute. That it was a very nice save.
Dax McCarthy, that
unreal assist. Yeah, maybe the assist of the season. It could go down as the best assist of the whole season.
Nikolic.
Yeah, Nikolic scored, the DP they signed from Poland. New England 2-0 over Houston.
That's back-to-back wins for New England, right? Right now.
It is, yeah, and they kept Cubo Torres, who's currently the league's leading scorer, off the score sheet. 6 goals in 4 games so far. Luciano Acosta and DC United upset our beloved New York City FC, who had a shocker after winning 4-0 3 weeks ago against them. We were watching the game. That Luciano Acosta run was pretty amazing.
The stadium looks crazy.
That's bad. Yeah. It's worse than Yankee Stadium. RFK is in
DC
shambles.
United? Yeah, I know.
But like with CJ, our guest from a while back in our preview episode said, the stands going up and down and bouncing. At one point they showed it. It's kind of lit. Like it's literally the stadium is rocking. Like it's crazy. Yeah. But David Villa scored the consolation. New York loses 2-1. Timbers beat Philly in Philly. Nagby and Addy score. And Mike, I think your prediction might come true of Timbers winning the league and maybe Nagby being Player of the Year.
Yeah, I had Dom Dwyer as MVP, and he scored his first goal this weekend.
Yeah.
Philly yet to win, and I think
I like Nagby. He's also. I look at his ratings on who scored. He had a high rating that game too.
Yeah, and I think we might be seeing Addy. I think Addy might leave after the season, go to Europe. He's being looked at by clubs all over, including the Premier League. Toronto and Atlanta tied 2-2, arguably the game of the season. Some pretty crazy drama. Giovinco gets his first goal this season. Altidore, if you didn't see his assist on that, it was pretty wild. First touch back heel to Giovinco. And that was a pretty good result, though, for Atlanta without Joseph Martinez.
Altidore, underrated, by the way, assist creator definitely. For a target striker.
Yep. Definitely. Only a couple more games, Mike. Hang in there. We're wrapping it up. FC Dallas 2-0 over Minnesota United, the most cheese team in the history of the league. FC Dallas still waiting for Mauro Diaz to return, but they're still pumping out
for most of the season, though, right?
Half the season. Yeah. And there was no hangover after that rough loss in the CONCACAF Champions League. If you guys didn't see what happened there, they probably should have made the final, and they lost in devastating fashion to Pachuca. We talked about Real Salt Lake. Orlando 1-0 over New York Red Bulls.
Beautiful stadium.
3-0 at home. And then the Sunday nightcap on Fox Sports, Sporting Kansas City scored more goals in this game than the rest of the season combined. 3-1 over the Colorado Rapids. Dom Dwyer scores his first of the season and also started a pretty phenomenal counterattack goal. Mm-hmm. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was some pretty good skill in the middle of the field. He won the ball, crazy turn.
The commentators did talk about him a lot. You know, he's just become a USA citizen, and he's trying to get into that United States national team. But I mean, he missed a lot. There was a lot of confetti on the field. I saw him miss 2 or 3 absolute sitters. I know you have the world's best goalkeeper in goal for the Colorado Rapids, Mr. Tim Howard. But still, he needs to be more prolific. That was his first goal of the season.
Yeah, hopefully he picks it up for his sake. And then the Dwyer-Howard altercation at the end of the match may have been the talking point of Week 6, potential future teammates. Dom Dwyer handled it pretty well. If you guys didn't see this, they were jawing at each other pretty well, nose to nose, a little bit of push and shove, nothing too crazy.
Dom Dwyer would kill him.
You think Dwyer would beat up
he's
Howard?
out of here. Yeah.
I don't know about
No
that.
way. First of all, Howard always has the Tourette's in the.
He might just spaz at any point.
Yeah, he's got the spaz strength.
All right, we're treading dangerous water right now.
That part out
So anyway, Mike, just to summarize the MLS, every team is now 2-2-2. So there you go.
Every single team is 2-2-2.
No, I'm joking, but it seems
that is the MLS.
Yeah.
And the winner, the best team with 34 points, is
But I just want to say one more breaking news. Tony Adams, the legendary Arsenal captain, was just offered the registered alcoholic was just appointed head coach of Granada, a team in La Liga, his second from bottom.
Yeah, Arsenal's favorite alcoholic, Mr. Arsenal, Tony
Paul
Adams.
Merson's got to be the most favorite alcoholic, but
what a team that was! Just raging alcoholics left and right.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to these. I'm looking forward to these Champions League games this week. I think they're very exciting matchups, and ready.
Hold on, before we cut off, did we find out why Howard was mad at Dwyer? I couldn't find out why.
He's better looking. That's why.
And his wife's probably hotter. Sydney Leroux's a dime, so fire.
Sydney Leroux, yeah,
she's great.
Who's Tim Howard married to?
Some random judge, some basic judge who hasn't won the World Cup.
But anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. I know I was waiting for someone to interrupt me then.
Apologize to Tim Howard.
Yeah, we love you, Tim. We do. We really do. We really love Tim Howard.
Yeah, I want him on. He'll be a guest on the show. He's going to have a career in broadcasting.
Well, we're one step ahead already, Mike.
Yeah, so we're going to get him on the show.
All right. We'll give him a chance.
I'm going to make that my mission. 1 year from now, Tim Howard on the show going into the World Cup 2018.
Okay.
Oh, you guys don't. You guys don't believe
that.
me.
You're in the big smoke. You can make things happen.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Right.
I got some connections. I met somebody this weekend works for MLS.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah, kind of.
Was he called Ben Jada?
No, that wasn't his name. Why do you?
No, I met him. I met him in a club down there a few years ago. I met him in Bowery Electric, actually. I was in the line to the pisser, and I just looked at him. I was pissed drunk. I was like, "You look like you know soccer." And he was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, I work for the MLS." He's a writer for the MLS. He has he's
a big stats guy for the MLS.
Yeah.
He works for Opta. You know that company Opta that keeps track of stats. I think he works for them, and he's one of our. Cool. We follow him on Twitter. He doesn't follow us back, but whatever.
That's all right.
We'll tweet this episode at him.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Shut up, Ben.
Say, hey, listen to an hour and 20 minutes, and at the end we talk about you.
For 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's an hour and 8 minutes. But we've ran out of time already. But thanks everyone for tuning in to the Third Touch podcast. We'll be back next week. Always follow us, ask us questions at the Third Touch Twitter account. Thanks everyone for joining us. We will see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Soon.
Later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.